everyone. Welcome to the Curious Matter Aftershow. I'm Allison Hayslip, and my co-pilot here is Alyssa DeVries, and we are going to be your hosts as we take a deeper dive into this season's episodes. We're going behind the scenes to learn a little bit more about these stories and their authors. And you do what we do, and to do what we always do, geek out on all things sci-fi and horror. Now, tonight's show is live on Twitch every other week. So all of you out there in podcast land, you can come over and join us at twitch.tv/effingfunny. Now, tonight, on the show, we have almost the entire cast of Star Hunter. Please welcome Jonathan Pezza, Colin Ferguson, Jonathan Edelman. I'm making sure I'm getting everyone. Blythe Renee, Scott Pezza, Jeremy Pezza, Melissa Starr, Tian Nguyen, and Tiffany Smith. Did I get everyone? I think I did.
Woo,
and
you did.
We have a guest on the way from London who's also going to be joining us soon. Jack Bauman.
We're hoping.
It is a full
Yes,
board here in front of me. Hello, everyone, and congratulations on completing this story on a wonderful finale. I feel like, just to make things simple, I'm going to go around and ask each of you to say who your character was on the show, so everyone can hear your real voices instead of your character voices. So Jonathan, we'll start with you. I mean, you're our creator here, but I know you also do voices on the show. Did you have any in this episode?
I did. I had 3 actually.
Oh, really?
I was Mr. Wasselitz at the beginning, the evil voice. I was the drone at the end, and I was like the Casey Kasem feed announcer.
Your favorite.
Yeah,
wonderful. Okay, Colin, we got to go to you next. I think we know who you are, but let's say it.
I'm Colin Ferguson, and I played Ross Hume.
Nice. And that's the only voice you did in this entire show, right?
Yeah, I actually speak naturally in a very high-pitched voice, and that was all incredible performance.
Wonderful. Now we will go to Tiffany Smith, the one and only. You're technically 2 characters, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm Tiffany Smith, and I voiced Avina and Elise for Star Hunter.
Tiffany, you missed it last week, but when the reveal came out about the 2 characters being the same body, basically, I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense, because I was thinking in episode 2, I was like, why did he have Tiffany voice that other random character who was there for a scene? And then I was like, oh, got it.
Yeah. Yep.
So wonderful to have you here. All right, now we got to go to family next, because we have multiple Pezzas, aka Jonathan's family, on. Scott, let's go to you. Who are you? You're in this episode, correct?
I'm in the first episode only. I am the very, very short-lived Vince Hume.
Oh, Vince Hume. There we go. Well, wonderful to have you here. And now, Jeremy, you are in this episode.
I am. And I am also very short-lived. The first mate that dies in the prologue.
So Jonathan basically just brings his family members on to murder them off very quickly.
Pretty
It's cheaper than therapy.
It's cheaper than therapy. There you go.
Jeremy's been in every story that we've done in Curious Matter since the very beginning.
So you really like killing him off?
Every story.
Yeah, I've died in every single episode I've been in.
Wait, Jonathan and Scott. Oh my gosh. Jonathan and Scott, I should have asked you both, what is your relation to Jonathan? Sorry, Jeremy and Scott, I should have asked you, what is your relation to Jonathan?
We're all cousins.
All cousins.
Fathers are all brothers.
Oh, wow. I like it.
There were 6 brothers.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Did they all have boys? I mean, I'm assuming there's a few girls in there, but are there boys?
I am the only boy out of 4.
Wow. All right. Next on my screen is Blythe. Now, I don't believe you were in this episode, because you were one of my favorite characters, and I know where you are.
That makes me so happy. I was not in this episode, but I did play the Hunter's Guide in previous episodes, and also a voice at the beginning of episode 2 with a terrible Eastern European accent. Jonathan coached out of me with amazing patience. Accents are not my forte, so
it was like faux French.
It was terrible. Is what it was.
Just roll your R's. Just roll your R's.
Yes.
Yeah. Throw in a couple long A's.
like space French. There was like space Australian.
Yeah, it's space. Accents can be whatever they want to be.
Exactly. That was what Jonathan said. He was like, it's space. It can be whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be accurate. And I was like, well, good, because it's not going to be.
I mean, George Lucas convinced everyone that there was no underwear in space. So, accents are freewheeling. Okay, Jonathan, let's go to you. Who are you in this episode? Are you in this episode is probably the first question. You're still muted, my friend.
Oh. The space bar's not working. Just unmute.
There you go.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was the fabulous Kirk Chambers.
Nice.
Amazing.
Nice. Okay. And now Melissa.
Spacebar is also not working for me. Sorry about that. I am not in this episode. I was the captain of the ill-fated Largo Drift.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I remember that crash very well.
Yeah.
And Tian, we do not hear you in this episode, I believe, but you're at the beginning.
Yes. I played young Elise.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And to be quite fair, I thought this was going to be a story about a young girl, like, because you're the entire first half of that episode. And then when we time jumped, I was like, man, I'm not prepared for any of this. Like every jump this show made, I was like, wait, what? Who's who now? And where are we going? And the fact that it just wrapped up so cleanly is amazing. So, Jonathan, what was this like for you to finally complete this story? Because I believe this is the biggest story you've taken on in this anthology series.
It felt really great. This one was the toughest one for sure. I mean, this episode had like 800 rocks in it. It's just Rock City for 2 days. But no, this was so much fun. I knew that this story was going to be really exciting for people because it had so many twists and turns, and it was so far from what your expectation of what this story was supposed to be at the beginning. And I can now tell you what the original ending was.
Oh, right.
Because you guys
thank goodness.
Yes.
Yeah, which was that in like 1960s trope world, they get stuck inside the mountain. They don't really meet the alien that's in there. There is one in there, a ship in the lake. They just kind of get stuck in there and basically wither to the point where they can't do much. And then realize that the way to get through the barrier, this is super 1960s, is to not try to get through the barrier.
Oh God, it's like Michael Crichton, like sphere stuff happening. Okay,
yeah. It was like, so now you understand why it was like, okay, we got to drive the ending from character standpoint instead of from like the 60s trope, where it was like, oh, it was Lancer figured out that it was a he in the original, that like if you tripped and accidentally fell through it, you could get out. But if you tried, it was so bad 60s. It was the worst. And that's one of the reasons why I kept circling this, because it had such for such an amazing thing, it had an ending that just didn't match the rest of the story. And once I was just like, I know what my ending's gonna be. I know how to ultimately make this about the characters. Then I was confident that I could make it fun.
You didn't want to put in just a little Easter egg of someone accidentally tripping and falling through the. No, you're like,
it's my least favorite sound effect in it, which I couldn't get anything better, was like the banging on the force field, like banging on that wall. Like I could not figure out how to make it not like a cheesy. I'm sure you guys are hearing my dings. No, okay, good. Yeah. There are text messages coming in. How to not make that sound cheesy to me, like banging on that thing. I tried a million things, and that was the one sound effect that I was like, it just didn't hold up for me. It was the one super disappointing sound effect.
Man, I'm watching Colin's face as you're telling this original ending, and just like knowing his previous work, I feel like he would have been thrilled to do a fake trip through a barrier. Colin, do you agree? You gotta say it though, bud. You're on. This is audio after this.
Yeah, absolutely. I would just love to sort of have the character sit in front of the field for like walking on rocks, going oh, and then falling. It would have been amazing.
Although now that like TC's like stuck under the rocks and it happens then, and then you're like, no, how do I get back in? Cut to credits.
The rock slide didn't happen. The cave in didn't happen. They just kind of get out, and then the space police show up, and Ross just kind of explains everything that happens, and then it's just like, okay, go on, right. You're good. It's just like.
Well, I think I'm pretty sure I can speak for everyone when I say thank you for giving us a much more epic ending.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Tiffany, how do you feel about this ending, since your characters kind of go through the biggest transition, the biggest story? How did you feel? Did you feel satisfied with this ending?
Yeah, I just remember like we would do episodes and Jonathan would be like, did you read it? Did you have a chance to read it? Is anything confusing? Do you understand what's happening? Can you follow everything? Because there's so much that happens. And I remember when we first started recording, and we were talking about the two different voices, I was like, can I give her an accent? Like, so that way it's not just like me talking higher pitched and then like lower voice or something. So the crazy part was we didn't even really talk that much about the voice. I was like, well, I'm Creole, so maybe I'll try like a little bit of a like Southern Creole accent and just play with it. And we did it. And then the next time I had to do it, I was like, oh crap, what did I do last time?
So the accent was your idea.
We talked about it, and then it was kind of like, how's this sound? And Jonathan, feel free to jump in if you're like, that is not how it happened, Tiffany.
No, that's totally what was interesting is I had recorded Gregor first, who's the bouncer, the mean bouncer in that bar at the beginning in the Starfall, and he had done like a Creole accent. So I was like, oh, it's fine. It's great. You can do Creole? Great. We're good. Yeah. We've already got like now it's Nuaddle's got this Creole thing going on it, that planet.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So you set up the whole like dialect for that. Was that a whole planet? Or
it's a planet. Yeah.
Like there's so many locations. Yeah. What was that? Yes. How about for the rest of you, when you were recording, did you have any fun discussions with Jonathan about where your character was supposed to go or what they were supposed to do? Or were you able to bring in your own ideas to who you played?
I think you're going to have to pick people.
Yeah, or I'll just jump in. I'll be Kirk and jump in. I remember talking to John about Christian Bale kind of right at the beginning, but I don't know if you've ever played Bushido Blade from back in the day on PlayStation, but there was this character and he would do his ending and he would say, sleep well. And he had the silky quality to him. So I tried to bring him out when I did the character, and it was a little bit of that and a little bit American Psycho as well. So.
That, and I think I told you to be a space Targaryen.
And a space Targaryen.
A space Targaryen. That's a great, I mean, even though it makes no sense, it makes all the sense.
Yeah.
Like what a great descriptor for a character. Tell you what, I just realized a way that's going to make this easier when I have to ask a group question. If you have an answer you want to give, do the little hand emoji thing, like raise your hand on Zoom, and then I can call on you. And then this must be how teachers figured out how to run classes at the beginning of the pandemic.
Is that what you do? I don't even know how to do that.
What? Hit reactions. Oh my gosh. We're in like year 3 of Zoom, Jonathan. Go on.
I just hold my hand up.
All right. You can also do that regardless. So does anyone else want to chime in on this question? Any like good discussions you had with Jonathan about who your character would be or how it would translate vocally?
Tien, maybe?
I just had to die. That was
yes.
The only question. How much pain am I in? How much am I able to project? Because I'm pretty much dead.
Did you actually ask that? How much pain am I in?
We did, actually talk about that just, as a sort of amateur coming from the outside of, well, what's possible? What exactly is happening? And I have a lot of respect for what you folks do for a living. So mostly it was asking how dead I am and apologizing for not being a professional.
And apologizing for not being a professional. Listen, we all figured out how to do this from home over the last 2 years. We're not that much further ahead.
It's in your blood. You're a Pezza.
Yeah, you're a Pezza. Alyssa, how's chat?
You're naturally theatrical.
Yeah.
Chat is looking good. We don't have any questions so far, but some fun commentary. We got DeBoga's basically Louisiana, and Professor Shy Guy is lonely being the only one chatting in the chat. So I recommend that all the rest of you people send us some questions because there's so many amazing cast members here.
Yeah. So okay, here I've asked this a few times. Oh, Tiffany has something she wants to chime in with.
Like I raised my hand.
You did. It worked. It totally worked.
I raised my real hand. It was really cool getting to record stuff. I think usually when you do voiceover, you're by yourself, but this situation was much more like I literally was in my closet. And so Jonathan and I would like record and then we'd end up talking for like 45 minutes about just like life and geek stuff. And like, and half the time I would almost pass out because I had to do so much like running, breathing. Okay, can you do more screams? Or I'd have to be like, can we do all the screams at the end? Because I'm going to be totally burnt out. And then it's just cool hearing it all come together. Cause like Colin and I had known each other for a long time and Allison too. And like hearing your guys' voices come together at the end, like hearing it all in one piece is really, really awesome. Also, I have like a beast animal that's joined me. He was like, I didn't get to be on the pod. I didn't get to be on the audio drama, but I will be on the after show.
Yes. I will steal this show from you right now.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just a little bit of the recording stuff that I thought I'd share.
Yes, Colin.
It's so good to hear this sort of stuff because I'm new to, voiceover type stuff. And so I always felt like I was failing when we'd start the session and I would say, could I do all the yelling at the end? Because my voice can't do it. How does everyone else do it? I can't, and so it's great to hear someone like Tiffany say, yeah, I want to do all that at the end. I was like, oh, it's not just me. Okay, great. So it's fun to see all these similar lives play out in isolation.
Yeah, you almost always do the yelling at the end. Otherwise, you're spent.
There were literally days where I would message him and be like, hey, I can't do it. Is there screaming today? I can't do it today. I was like, if there's screaming that's happening, we're going to have to do it on like the next one. So yeah, definitely like pre-planning stuff where it was like, am I doing the accent today or am I doing the screaming today? Which one is it?
Right. Did anyone else have a ton of screaming? I'm sure the Pezzas were.
Oh, young Elise. Young Elise has a lot of screaming. She's like all screaming.
Yeah, that was like so fun. I would like jump up and down and like around in Jonathan's like recording studio, and just to like get my heart racing so that I can like do all the gasps and screams and thing like that. It was so much fun.
Thean, I'll start with you if you don't mind. But for those who haven't been on the after show before, I'd love to know how you got involved in the project. How did Jonathan find you? Did you already know Jonathan? What's your origin story for this project?
Well, Jonathan and I go way back. He actually is such a talented writer and director and musician. He had wrote a movie called String Theory, a short, and a few years back, and he casted me as one of the leads in the movie and taught me all of his songs, the songs that he was in the movie to play and sing. And so it was the best experience. And what a privilege it was when he was like, hey, I'm doing this audio drama. Do you want to lend your voice? And I was just like, hell yeah, like, let's do it.
That's awesome. Wonderful. How about Melissa? How about you? How'd you get involved? I feel like you've been in previous episodes of CMA and he just brought in a ringer.
I was in a lot of season 1 actually, and it was kind of interesting because I've known Pezza for 12 years now. I know him because he is a college friend of my husband's, and he called me up one day and said, "Hey, I'm doing this audio drama. Send me just send me a quick monologue. Here, you can read this for me." And I'm like, "All right." So I read it, and he calls me up and goes, "Hey, congratulations, you got the part." And I was like, great. So I show up for recording and I discover that I am the lead character in a 5-part episode where he's like, I don't know if you're going to live to the end yet. I haven't written it all. We'll see what happens.
Depends on how good you are.
I made it. So I mean, to the very end, we'll say.
And in subsequent stories. So
I got to come back
in Second Variety. Yeah.
Second Variety. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun, even if I did almost pass out recording at the end.
This seems like a common
It's
theme.
like you, it was like you and Amy Vorpal in this like insane final sequence.
Yeah.
In that.
Nice. Blythe, how did Jonathan rope you into this?
Yeah, I've known Jonathan for years. We've been friends for, I don't know, over a decade at this point. It's been so long. And we've just kind of been those friends that kind of like touch and, you like are in contact and then you disappear off each other's radar for like a year and then you come back together and it's like you never left. And we had I don't even remember why, but we got back in contact recently. We were just catching up and I was telling him that I was doing some voice acting and like video games and things, and he was like, well, I'm doing this audio podcast, and I was like, I love audio fiction, let's go. So yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, Jonathan made the motion of getting his claws into you. Well, now you're tied in.
She's in Borderlands 3. She's in Tiny Tina's. Ooh. She has been doing some really awesome stuff.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about Jonathan Edelman? How did you get involved?
So I think I was just trying to figure out, I was counting on my fingers. It's been almost 25 years that I've known John.
Oh my goodness.
I actually was his RA in college.
What?
And I was also Melissa's husband's RA in college as well. So kind of like, but recently we've been doing D&D together, and he told us about everything that he's doing. And man, I love audio drama. It's just awesome. And I actually started out doing acting in Emerson. So this was kind of like a, let me in, I want to play kind of thing. So
that's incredible, man. I thought roping in family was going to be like the big ask, but friends from college.
Yeah, I don't think I ever gave him a violation, did I? There's no violations. No. Breaking anything.
I was pretty good.
You knew.
Yeah. He was like the first person. So if you know anything about Emerson is like notorious for
Go
like,
Lions. I went to Emerson College.
You did, yeah. Blue-haired freaks is like what we're known for, and proud to be. And so he was the first person. He was like John was like one of the first people I met in college. Like they were offloading your stuff out of the car, walk upstairs, and he's standing at the door, and he is like long black hair and Marilyn Manson makeup, and he's like, "Welcome to Emerson."
Oh my God! Like on purpose, or was that just your vibe back then?
Yeah, no, that was the thing.
That was yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were doing it to like intimidate incoming freshmen.
No.
It was just you. Got it.
And I was really proud. I was a very happy goth, which I think is like, sorely like misrepresented.
Oh, a happy goth. I love that. And then to the cousins, I mean, I understand that you have familial obligations, but what made you actually say yes when he asked you to do this?
So about, what is this, like 17 years ago now, I just jumped in the car and drove to California. And luckily, John needed a roommate. And I was like, oh, I'll get into the industry. And that lasted about a week. He took me on a shoot to help him with audio. And I was like, oh, I like to listen to music. This would be easy. And I don't know, that's how I got in the crew. And ever since then, he seeks my opinion on things. And then I always say I'm a pioneer. I've been listening to podcasts for like 20 years. So like long before anybody even knew what they were. So when he told me he was starting that, I was like, oh, I got to get in on that.
Yeah. I mean, were they even called podcasts 20 years ago?
Gosh, I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember much 20 years ago. I do remember, and Melissa can tell her husband that he can finally spill the beans on what happened at my 30th birthday party with him. My greatest story.
Melissa looks shocked. She's like, I'm listening. Let's go.
This is not that show.
It could be, though. It could be.
It is the
welcome
after show.
To chaos. It is the after show. This is the chaos episode.
So wait, are we not hearing the 30th birthday story?
Oh, no, we're not.
Oh, we're not. This is just a tease.
Just a tease.
Right. Next time we bring Pez's back on, we're going to give everyone a little booze, and then we're going to hear the 30th birthday story. Scott, how about you?
I guess it's my turn. I'll be the downer.
Oh,
yeah.
So like Jonathan and I, we've kept in touch over the years, East Coast, West Coast, but from the time when John was out here. Unfortunately, in the past couple of years, we've seen each other at some funerals. So I can't remember if it was my dad's or our grandmother's, when we were just talking about what he was doing, and it was one of the times when you say, you know what, it puts things in perspective. You want to be a little closer to family, which is really tough to do in the middle of a pandemic. So when we were talking about this, I said, well, I've got a microphone for work, so yeah, let's do it. So sorry, that's a little bit of a
no,
not quite as fun as Jeremy's 30th birthday story.
No,
yeah, that's how I got involved.
It's a lovely silver lining in an otherwise sad occasion. And what a great way to get family together. That is really nice.
My feeling about all this is that it's always from the beginning been about kind of creating a troupe, and that troupe, like anybody who gets involved with this, kind of becomes part of the family in the sense that and comes back and just has fun with it. And I'm so grateful for everybody who's been a part of it, and we've kind of just like taken this experiment on. And I think that even though we've brought together people that would be considered kind of amateur performers at the beginning, I don't think you hear that on the other end. I think it's just about how hard everybody works, and it just turns into that, like, it's not a movie, but movie magic. It's just the thing that happens when everything comes together.
Yeah, I don't think I would have thought that there was a single voice that I heard on the show that wasn't a professional. And it just all sounded so good. Especially that Out Hunter, oh crap, what was my character's name? Out Hunter Chief Officer. Who did I play?
You're the Hunters Guild official.
Hunters Guild official, that's it. I mean, even she brought it.
She definitely brought it. You were great this episode. This was
standout performance.
I gave you absolutely. I gave you the Starfleet Academy speech.
I love it. And I have a similar to what Tiffany was saying. Well, first off, we had to record it so quickly that Jonathan had sent me the script, and then 4 hours later was like, "Have you read it? Can we record?" And I was like, "Oh, I haven't. Do I need to read the script, or can I just read the scene?" And he was like, "You'll be fine with just the scene." And I was like, "Great," which I totally was. And then we were like in my closet and recorded. And then we were just like gabbing, of course, as you do. And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, wait, you're coming with me because I'm about to pass out in my own closet because I don't have air conditioning. I was like, we can keep talking, but you have to come on a journey with me right now. All right.
That's why I've turned my basement into this like this creative womb. So that like I can, because I spend so much time in here.
That's a way better name than Man Cave. Creative womb.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's like the comfy space I spend way too much time in.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. This is going to be a question for everyone. So I'm going to go around again. But I'm also kind of combining, if you don't have an answer for one, you can give me the answer for the other. So what is your favorite line that you had in the show? And, or if you could have voiced a different character in the show, who would you have wanted to voice? Jonathan, I'm going to start with you because you know everything forward and backwards, and I'm going to give the rest of the team time to think about their answers.
Who would I want to have? My favorite line? I mean, my favorite line is obviously "Happy Hunting." I think
our final line.
The final, but I mean, I've been waiting 5 episodes to put that line in.
You're like, I know exactly what the last line is going to be.
I know what the exact that's. If you can know what your last line is, you can write anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't. I wouldn't have played anybody else. I think that everybody was so perfect. I couldn't imagine anyone else in any of the roles.
Yeah. I guess if you were choosing someone else, then you would have been knocking your own casting choice. So, Colin, how about you? You look like you're in deep thought over this question.
I am in deep thought. I'm like, what were any of the lines that I said? That's because you're doing it on the day. I remember really liking in the last episode getting to do that long run of the entry, the journal entry, or the broadcast. What is it? What do we call it? Do we have words for that?
I'm sure Jonathan does.
No words for that. Yeah.
Jonathan, you need to write stuff down for Colin. You just need to write it down and email it to him.
Answer this.
It was done. It was.
You're like, I already did that.
Happy hunting. Happy hunting was my favorite line Because when you know how something ends, it is always a good way. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I should have said. No, to play another part though, I don't know. I thought everyone did such a good job. I was so impressed with everybody going through, all the accents and all the different textures that everybody brought. So I don't have anything that I felt like I would have wanted to. I felt like if I did someone's part, it would have been a step down. So I don't love putting myself in that position. So
I guess I'm not asking for you to recast someone. I just mean like I would say my answer would be Blythe's role, just because I thought it was such a fun character, not because I don't like what Blythe did. I loved what Blythe did, which is why I found the character so fun, and it would be like fun shoes to step into.
Yeah, more like
right.
dream role. Like,
Yeah.
what other role do you think would have been silly if you did it?
Right.
I don't know. I think I liked the comedic stuff that so many of the other people did that I'd love to take. I love a good joke. So any good joke that someone pulled off, I was like, oh, I want to try that.
Oh, like those henchmen who got murdered in episode 3, I think. Yes.
Yeah, but nobody's emailed me a response to this question yet, so I'm waffling.
It's too bad. Like Jack as Starnes. He was supposed to be here tonight, but I think he got stuck in the London Tube or something. For me, yes, like Shriswara was supposed to be here. She had a migraine tonight, so she couldn't make it. But for me, it was like, when the 4 original characters are together and the banter that happens when the 4 of them are together, for me, those scenes are so much fun.
Yeah.
Because they're straight up just like sci-fi adventure. And so it can be like playful and goofy, and that stuff is so great.
Awesome. Tiffany, how about you? Favorite line and or other role you would want to take on?
So I have probably like 2 lines. One that I just kept having to go back to get the accent. I don't know why, it just always got stuck in my head when I was like, get one of them boys over there to do it. Like every time I had to get into her voice, I had to say that line to myself over and over again to drop in. So
nice.
That, I don't know why that was one of my favorite ones that just stuck out. And then I liked because I didn't get the joke. Like, wait, what's cattle? Like where she tries to say the cattle joke later, and then she's like, but wait, is someone actually going to tell me what they are? Because I still don't understand. So that was probably the 2 that I liked a lot. And then I would probably say like, I would do it all over again, and then Colin and I could swap roles.
Oh, fun. Yeah. See, there's an answer, Colin.
That's a great answer. Let's do that. Let's swap roles.
Jonathan sent me an email. I just read it faster than you did. So. But yeah, that's like, I think, and I guess it would be more that like, I wish we could all record together, because I think there's a lot of stuff, and you guys all did such a great job editing it and putting everything together, where it's like the jokes that, if we could have been in the same space, I think you can play with it even more, but I think they crushed it the way it was. But if we could swap roles and record together, I would have loved that.
That would have been very fun.
Yeah.
Blythe, how about you? And you should totally say my role, and then we can switch roles like Colin and Tiffany.
Okay. Okay. Definitely. All right. So
the alt universe version of the audio drama.
Well, I know everybody has said happy hunting, like seriously, and as a joke, but like all of my little hunter's guide and like pieces ended with happy hunting. And it was always my favorite thing that we were recording, because you didn't want it to sound the same, right? And so you're also like kind of sending people off into like serious danger, and you're just like happy hunting. And so it's just like, how many different ways can I say happy hunting? Like, am I upbeat? This one's kind of dark, like don't die, So it's just a really fun line to play with every time we hit it. So also happy hunting for me.
You're like, am I a psychotic robot? Is that what I am now?
I mean, yeah. That is my niche. Like cute but murdery robot. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. My favorite kinds of characters.
I agree. And yeah, obviously we would just swap. I want the gravitas. I want the opportunity to bring that gravitas that you brought tonight.
You can have your own Starfleet Academy moment.
Yes, thank you.
Nice. Jonathan Edelman, how about you?
Yeah, I was trying to. It's going to be a toss-up. I mean, the joke from tonight's show with the should have gone with the chrome really, really struck home for me. I think it's probably that one, or I'm trying to remember how it went with the water cats, but it was talking about the description of the watercast. That was a lot of fun to say as well. But choosing another character, I don't know. I think Kirk's character is just really fun to have played. I don't know if I would have chosen anybody else if I had to. I don't know. I could always swap with Allison, and then we could do the thing, and then you could be Kirk.
I don't know if I would have gone with the prosthetics though. Yeah,
platinum. You gotta go with
platinum. Melissa, how about you?
I don't think I have a favorite line from this episode. I mean, happy hunting if I can choose someone else's.
There you go.
Obviously, because it's gold. And even reading the scripts, I was laughing every time at the end of hers, every single time. Anything for myself, I have in this season, it would be something from Eddie Cobalt. I like the DMV stuff, all the DMV stuff, because I was the machine for the DMV. So that was all pretty funny. As far as other character for this, probably what is her name? The pirate?
Oh yes,
Milana Watts.
Yeah. She would have been a lot of fun.
Great character.
Yeah. So Lynn couldn't be here tonight. She's on an airplane right now.
Oh, I guess that's an excuse. They have Wi-Fi on airplanes now. Can you imagine live streaming in from an airplane? Oh, God, nightmare. Please don't anyone ever do that.
The background noise. Ugh.
No, I'm more thinking about the other people on the plane who would be driven insane by someone having a conversation during a live stream.
Oh my God.
Okay, Thean, how about you?
I had a lot of panting and screaming and coughing. So for me personally, that was super fun. My favorite line is "Happy hunting," though, Blythe. Like, that was so much fun to hear. I do want to mention, like, Jonathan, like the music going into like the opening of each time Blythe would like start talking about, the hunting and the games and everything. Was it a fiddle or what was it? Like, did you play that or?
No, it's I think it's a group called Searcher most of the time. Well, there's like the Hunter's Guide is like a cross between like the Hitchhiker's Guide and the Bounty Hunter show on Cowboy Bebop for me. I was like, those are the two things I was going to reference in it. So I was like, okay, the first couple episodes have a little bit of like bluegrass hip hop, like a little bit of, I don't know what that's like, country hip hop. And so I was like, okay, maybe I can use this as like a sound that always kind of like drives you into those. And it's like playful. It turns the music turns away from action music and becomes this like playful thing that always kind of reminds us that we're in this like adventure. So
I loved it. Every time like I heard, I'd be like, yes, it's starting.
Awesome. All right. Pezza cousins. Do you guys have favorite lines or other characters you would have been interested in?
I'll say, obviously, my actual role was very brief. My favorite was John had called me and he wanted me to work on some extra stuff, and he wanted me to help out with the Creole stuff. And I actually studied and I went on YouTube and I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I lived in New Orleans for a while. I could do a Creole accent. But unfortunately those lines didn't make, those were I felt like I had an assignment. So I really worked hard on them.
And it didn't make the cut?
You didn't need, it's all right. It's all right.
It was a timing thing. It was just deadline stuff. It wasn't, Sometimes I get into these like time binds and I just have to kind of like, that's where a lot of my parts come from, is just like, crap, I don't have anyone.
What accent haven't I done yet?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Space Australian. Let's go.
Australian.
For another character, so I feel like over the last 2 years, it's a common theme. John sends me the script. I record my stuff here. I have a studio set up and I send it back. And I kind of get this, dude, stop yelling. Stop being so angry. Because I'm a child of the 90s. So in my head, I'm always Jerry Stiller, George's dad. So I'm always yelling. So I guess the only other character I could play in this story would be the Gargantuan.
Nice. Good choice. Good choice. Scott's slow clapping for you too. All right, Scott, you're up.
I think my favorite line is either a grunt or a wheeze of some sort, as I am being crushed and then sacrificing myself for the ship to go go into FTL. If I could play another character, I'm thinking young Elise, Blythe's character. Now maybe you just like pitch it up a bit, but if we both kind of like scream a lot, I think that'll translate. I think I'd be pretty confident with that.
That's Tian's character, but yes, I would.
He's an audio master. He could.
That would be amazing.
Sorry, Tian. I'm so sorry.
I feel like Jonathan could make that happen, though.
I have many pitch shifters.
Shifters.
Yes, legitimately, I think every story I'm trying to find new like voice transformers and like plugins that are good. So I have like 4 or 5 different ones I use.
That sounds like an insult. Like, ugh, you're such a pitch shifter. Both words sound wrong for some reason. I'm going to use that on someone. Alyssa, let's do another check-in with chat. How's everything going over there?
Chat is looking good. No, the only question that we had was favorite part about the process. If we want to do that one, I feel like we've covered it a little bit, but
yeah, I mean, unless
if anybody has
any
story. Favorite moments,
I think
Tiffany.
Every week I would get texts from Jonathan and Colin after the episode came out. It was like, "Did you listen to the episode yet?" Jonathan's would be, "Did you listen to the episode yet?" And Colin's would be like, "You were great in this episode."
Aww.
So it's like I'd always be like, I haven't listened to it yet, or I'm about to listen to it on my walk. So that was like a fun part where, you know, we were all so excited about hearing each other's work and stuff and getting to follow up and be like, "Oh my God, you were so cool. You did such a great job here."
And in her defense, I would text her probably 35 minutes after the email went out and said, "Have you listened yet?" You know, and she'd be like, No, I have not listened.
Unless she pushed play the moment that email arrived in her inbox, there was no way she had time to listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Colin, you never sent her a text that was like, "You were in this episode." Always you were great.
No, he always says that about himself. He'll be like, "You were amazing. I mean, I was okay." And I'm like, "No, you were great too. Like, you were great." I'm like, I couldn't even like validly say it because I was like, I haven't even listened yet.
Amazing. All right.
So
we are getting close on time. So I'm going to just do one last question to y'all and I'm going to go around the board. Quick thinking, y'all. Do you think he would survive on Jamal B? I'm going to start with the cousins. Scott, you get to go first.
That's a no.
Nice. Just very definite. Jeremy?
I think I would do all right.
Oh, yeah. Good. I like the confidence. I like it. Tian, how about you?
Definitely not.
No. Yeah. Melissa?
Do I get any of the weapons that came to the planet? Because
let's say that you got there the way that they got there.
Yeah, I'm pretty scrappy and pretty good with using my environment. So I think I'd make it if I had. If you just drop me on a strange planet, no, I'm screwed. But like if I get all their force fields and stuff,
you can make it happen.
I got
MacGyver some stuff. Yeah. Nice. Blythe.
I mean, listen, I'd give it a good go, but blood and injuries make me pass out. So, you know, when I lose consciousness, I'm getting it. It's happening.
Nice. Jonathan Edelman.
I want to say yes so bad, but absolutely not.
I like the self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tiffany.
I think I would think I could like somehow communicate with like the beasts on the planet. Like I'd be like, that one, I'm going to be able to tame it or something. And if it was the Watcher, then maybe I could survive. But if it was one of the beast things and I chose the wrong one, then I'd like probably die in a second because I don't think you can tame them. But I would try.
You would try. I like it. Yeah. Valiant. Colin.
Yeah.
Well, knowing what I know now, I have a shot because immediately I would start screaming for the Watcher, you know, to protect me. So knowing what I know now, but it's up to the Watcher. I could if the Watcher chose to save me, but otherwise, no, I'm probably not gonna beat the gargantuan. No.
Real quick, can you just show us how you would scream for the Watcher?
Watcher! Just as high pitch as I could as I'm running as fast as I could.
That is exactly how I pictured it. Thank you. Jonathan Pezza, how about you?
Only if I get to write the ending.
Oh, of course. Happy hunting. Yeah. Happy hunting.
No one sort of like, that's the thing. Jamala, no one survives unless you're lucky.
Oh, wow.
There are very few lucky people.
Alyssa, how do you feel? Would you survive?
Gosh, I think I would die pretty fast. I think I would die pretty fast. I think I would run and they would get me.
Yeah, I personally think I would absolutely die eventually, but I think I could survive a little time just because I'm pretty good at hiding.
Good.
There would be no like taking charge of a situation. It would just be finding a hole in a tree and stacking up there until I either starve to death or something eats me. Yes.
I'd like to make it away from I'd make it away from like the water cats and the aqua spiders, and then just accidentally step on a Xeno road and just be done.
Oh, the damn aqua spiders, my nightmare. Actually, no, I think my worst nightmare would be something like fire spiders, but aqua spiders are like real close. Well, yeah. Thank you all for joining us. Jonathan, since this is the end of a pretty epic story, do you have anything that you want to finish with before we wrap it up here?
No, just saying thank you to all of you guys. It's been so amazing. So you guys really helped make this happen, made the show what it is. And so I couldn't be more grateful to you guys.
Okay, well, that about wraps things up. I'd like to thank our guests for joining us tonight. Please make sure to like and subscribe wherever you are listening. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook under the handle @CMAnthology, or check us out online at www.cmanthology.com. Our technical director tonight has been Death Queen Vex. The Curious Matter After Show is presented by Effin' Funny and the Knightsville Workshop and distributed by Realm Media. So until next time, I'm Allison Hayslip.
This is Alyssa DeVries, and we've been your hosts. Stay away from caves, and thanks so much for listening.
No one's going to end it with happy hunting?
Happy hunting!
Tiffany, that's why they pay you the big bucks.
Missed opportunities.